Yo, happy Friday, everybody. How you doing? Hope today is treating you well so far. Tom! Let me scroll right back up to the top and see who's here. Saf, welcome, dude. Ooh, you got fun things to share. Excellent. Lovely Maryland. Welcome, Paul. It is lovely here in Portland as well. It's that time of year. Heidi's here. Check the Discord. I will check the Discord. Hey, hey. What is this? Here's what me and Uncle Chrome cooked up. Really getting into the early 90s ambient progressive electronic vibe for this track. Okay, very cool. We will listen to that. So Saf and Uncle Chrome have been cooking something up in the background. That's nice to hear. Bright gray on the island. Tom, how are you, dude? Tom, Twitch is always making you guess who else is in the room, right? They should just let us see like the last 2 minutes of chat when we arrive. Get the vibe of a room, you know? Hey, you made new stuff. Nice, Tom. What did you make? And Paul. Both new stuff, huh? Bonch, bonch, bonch. Welcome. Salutations. Happy Friday to you. We're almost to the weekend. Sorry, Zamerits, but only one guy gets to go to space. It just costs too much. You'll have to shop more on Amazon. I heard that he, like, thanked everyone for shopping on Amazon or something for his space trip. Yeah, he is. He's about as tone deaf as you get, socially, right? He doesn't care, though. That's okay, because we don't really care about him. And he's buying all of you subscriptions to OhmLab here. So make sure that you use your Amazon Prime account for your free subscription when you're here. Not that it really takes anything away from him, but you get more out of what you're paying for, I guess. Maybe it's like 1 second less in space overall for him next time he goes. Nice, dude. Nice, Paul. Punch times 3. Whoa, wait, hold on a second. Your quote for this morning is that sleep cycles seem to match up with another world? What's up, Javar? How are you? Yeah, Javar, I saw the Stay in Space petition. Ooh, nice, Emirates. Link in the chat for the YouTube talk about with the synth creators. I bet some folks would probably like to check that out. I bet Paul would get into that. Oh, happy full moon, by the way. Yeah, absolutely. Probably be nice and orange and big with the wildfires happening. Yeah, isn't that crazy? You think of someone or talk about someone that you haven't seen in a long time, and then you see them. Hmm. Nice, Tom. I will check out that link. Hey, Paul. I am feeling a bit better today. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for asking. Yeah. Excellent, Javar. Thank you, Heidi. Had a vocal production session this morning and worked on a cinematic track. Nice, Tom. Very awesome. Oh, Mr. Bezos. Yeah, couldn't have done it without all you little people giving me your money. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh, Paul. Yeah. It all comes around. Oh, that's great. Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are going to give us gold. Oh, man. By exploding in space. All right, let's kill this noise in the background and go check out and see what's waiting in the Discord for us. So the first thing we see this morning is a link from Saf. Something cooked up by Uncle Chrome and Saffron Works here. This video. Ooh, a lot of fun ear candy flying around in here. What's up, Nate? Man, that was awesome. That was flipping great. You guys sound really good together. That was fun. Nate, congratulations on crossing the finish line. Proud of you, homie. I hope you hear back good things. Okay, so what was up with the subliminal face that flashed there for just a moment? Anybody else catch that? JSR, welcome. Wow. That is awesome. Tulips from 30 years ago still popping. That's fantastic. You didn't see it? Is subliminal face right here. Right here. It's fleeting. Never really fully comes into frame and only lasts about a second. But there she is. Maybe someone from the documentary on the BBC or something. Led Zepp crosstalk. Oh man. Oh, we're just wrapping up a giant Led Zeppelin ish album release for Audio Design Desk. It's been fun to work on. You guys didn't even notice the face and you made it. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, can we get some love for Led Zeppelin? All right, let's see here. What else do we have in here? Oh, we've got more found sounds too. Hold on, before we get into more feedback, just a sec. It's from Saffron. So I decided to record some sounds of balloons this morning. I was wondering what happened if I put rice and paper inside a balloon, and somehow I came across something very interesting and unexpected texture funniness. Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Dude, that's fantastic, by the way. That is getting creative. I freaking love it. Yeah, now you're really thinking like a sound designer, dude, like a Foley artist. Let's grab this. All right, what else? What else is cooking in here? New one from Iggy. Tom created something new. Here we go. This one's called The Illusionist. Cinema One. I'm going to go back and listen to just a little bit more of this here. I'm hearing a couple of things in here. Okay, dude, great, super, super simple horror intro, or like makes you think that it might be horror. Something's just a little bit off. Strings come in with the warm bass. It all of a sudden feels like kind of majestic and like there's something to resolve here. It's nice. It's a good good vibe early. Yeah, like Heidi says, this is pretty and sad with a story behind it, huh? Yeah, no worries about it being short. Okay, so really, really nice overall balance for a hybrid vibe. Honestly, it's really, really simple. It's not trying to do too much. Maybe you could saturate the big drum, the big kettle. Just maybe like a basic sine wave modulation over like 6 bar increments or something like that, just so like a couple few of those get warmed up and then it's kind of back to where it was. I think it would just kind of add a nice little flow to the whole thing. And if you could get it to sync up with different instruments being introduced, then I think that it just kind of enhances the feels overall, right? So on those strings, and since this whole thing is so subtle, I think it works without having a whole bunch of fancy arrangement things happening. But if there were very, very subtle processing things happening, like on the strings, a subtle glitch every once in a while, or a really subtle gate of some kind, like rhythmically around arrangement changes, maybe really simple tension risers in the background that just kind of like poof, like fade off into a reverb spray or something. Excuse me, at their peak. Round 120, just to increase overall like depth of field. Maybe like a second snare that's just like doing maybe a little call and response thing, or maybe just like a double time thing or something in the background. I think it would add this whole other dimension, which would feel about right for around that time mark there, I would think, if this is going to be kind of expanded out, you know? Yeah. This is good. I only have creative ideas here because I don't really have anything to gripe on in any of this. This is sounding really solid. And I would say finish it. Yeah, people would use this. People would use this. Yeah, symbolic images fading in and out. It definitely has the feel of a like an intro piece for a really well-made dramatic series is what it feels like. Yeah. Nice tone on the piano as well. Yeah. Go do what you got to do, Nate. Keep him busy. Keep him busy. Yeah, you bet, Tom. Absolutely. When you are ready, when you've got a handful of these things put together, and you're ready to put them somewhere, I will help you write up descriptions and tags and all of that stuff. Help you get started right. All right, next. All right, so the first one is from Javar and then Zameritz. Javar says, my latest. This one may end up being the last track on my second album. Yeah, I know. I haven't released the first one yet. It's complicated. Love it. There's the birds. Man, railroad tracks. This is great. All right, so a few things. I think that the mix itself needs some adjustments to hear everything in the mix better. Starting at the top, love the birds intro. I'm wondering if maybe they should stick around or come and go in the actual mix. I was hoping that they would come back at the end, and I'm glad that they did. But I think that they could be there for even longer. And I think that there's something about them and the mood that just, they fit so intrinsically well, that I kind of missed them at a couple of points in there. I certainly wouldn't want them to get in the way of the music, though. Okay, so the high register piano gets lost in the competition on the sides with the lower. So the lower is just really dominant in the mix overall. It could probably come down at least 5 dB and still have just as much like presence and impact and reduce a ton of competition across the board. It's a very mid-rangey sound, so it's going to step on a lot of different things, but the higher register piano should come up as well, because it wasn't just getting lost in the other piano, it was getting lost in the mix in general. So I would suggest doing a do-over with the volume mix and starting with your lowest elements first and then working your way up. And make sure that higher register piano bit is able to be heard from beginning to end. And then I think that it's going to lay the groundwork for a really nice mix overall. The cello and the bass also seem to be a bit in competition. So I would address that as well. And I think that the stereo field could be used just a bit more. Some things could be moved just a little bit more over. And you can also play around with the stereo width of each element in play. So something that you really only want in the sides, you could adjust the stereo image to where it's not actually touching the center. It's just off center and there is no bleed across, right? And that might actually help with all of the competition that ends up building up towards the end here. And when everything comes in, all the way at like 3.5 minutes, I think that this is where it's going to have the greatest impact, because you're going to be able to feel every single instrument in the entire mix. At 2:15, when that quick transition happens, I think that a riser, even if it's just a whoosh, leading into that, would be great, because it would just carry the person there instead of like running them right into it. And that sound that's in there should really come down in volume. And I think that you might want to play around with the EQ and the reverb there too. Dude, this horn, oh my goodness, at 2:55, fantastic, great choice. And I think that this moment right here is highlighting again that the piano, the low end piano, the rhythmic is just hot, because it's kind of burying the horn there. And I think that the horn is so good that at least in one of its swells, it should be a dominant feature in the mix. Something that even overtakes that piano. So that piano might even need to be moved a bit further out. And that's something that you could even do with automation, right? Like in the beginning, it's actually a pretty big focal point, right? And it's kind of setting the pace of this thing and whatnot, definitely affecting the mood. But as other things come in, maybe it starts to come down in volume and it gets to be moved a bit more out to the side or something, make a little bit more room. Again, at 4 minutes, that the piano on the right is getting lost. Love the Bell edition. Really drives home the feeling of the winter stuff. Yeah, this is good. This is good. And I like it for an outro track too. So yeah, I'm feeling the last track vibe too. It's it's awesome, and it leaves me feeling like there is more, right? Like this is like the closing of a book or a season or something, right? But not like the end of the whole thing. It's good. I like it. It's good. Heidi, typing takes too long. The railroad crossing bells, even a railroad. Um, I think Heidi nails it. I think that there should be some like a railroad crossing sound and a train going by or something in this thing. This is, where is it? Right here. Like that kind of gives part of that, but the vibe. Not many railroads on frozen lakes. Another great movie. That's ice on a lake cracking in the middle. Oh man, that's what that is. It's fantastic. Sled dogs. This is it's a solid really solid vibe. I like this. Used to hear that cracking growing up. You can't capture what that sounds like when you're standing on the lake in the middle of it. Yeah, I bet, because I bet like a lot of the sound is like in the reflections and stuff, right? Invisible train. It just booms like thunder. Wow. How big is the lake? Huh. Wow. All right, what else do we have here? Ooh, Zamerit's made a journey through space. Man, I grew up on asteroids. This features 2 OhmLab sample packs, just having fun with them. Oh, cool. Any decent sized lake, right? Man, yeah, that thunderous effect is really, really something. Dude, this is great. I love I love the whole less is more palette that you're working with. It's like those pads just get all the space and it's flipping great. And I love that you left some stuff fairly dry and that it's got this kind of expansiveness as well as like intimacy. It's really nice. And the gamer vibe that kicked in after that first sample drops is just, oh, it's just perfect. It's perfect. And then it just didn't waver. It's really nice. It's fun. I don't have much for you in the mix and whatnot. There were a couple of spots where I thought that there was room for something kind of deep down. And in that, it was kind of like maybe something really distant was happening. What's up, guy? I see you. Thank you so much. You know, like maybe just like like something. I don't know. Because you're floating in space, right? This is just lovely, dude. And I really like the use of the Gemini samples, and it was good. On those perks, like towards the end here, every once in a while, maybe a sporadic reverb spray or something like that, just to kind of like spice up that floatiness, give it a little space dust or something. Seriously, this is good. I like it. It feels like it's part of an album that I haven't listened to for a long time or something. It's really tasty. Thank you so much for the sub, guy. I appreciate it. And thank you for the early follows. I had, let's see here, Virgu, Valente Ambi, Meme Cats, and Shublam. Thank you so much for the follows. I appreciate it. How are you today, Josh? You know, I've been seeing that in the chat so much lately, Heidi. Everything sounds so good. And have you guys noticed that there hasn't been as much like technical, like mix feedback for stuff? Like not nearly as much as it used to be. People are freaking on a roll around here. Man. Zev is in the house. What's up, Will? How are you, brother? Sorry, my mind is working on some stuff. I should give you a shout later, Will. Smeritz is saying, thanks. I wanted to give the instruments only a little spotlight and give everyone some room to talk. Man, I wish I could be a regular at Nick's Garage. That's like the kind of place where you walk in and everyone says, Norm! Safe travels, Tom. Man, you want to know one of the things I miss most? I miss a lot of things about living in Southeast Asia, but one of the things that I miss most is being able to like run and grab something and come right back to whatever you were doing. Man, so nice. Um, let's make some stuff. I don't think we have more on the Discord, do we? Do we have more? I don't think we do. All right, cool. Oh, by the way, Saf turned into some kind of like a Viking angel, harp playing Viking angel guy. It's awesome. All right, let's make some stuff. I am in the Valkyrie. Yes, of course. That's what they're called. There's names for these things. Thank you, Guy. All right, so stepping back from the robots for a bit and getting back into some stuff. Working on it's probably going to be Brahms Strikes or something like that. I'm going to make some more razors for this thing. I'm going to listen through a few that I made yesterday, get myself back into it. And I had a solid request that came in after, what was it? Was it Monday? I think it was Monday, maybe, that I was doing riser and Brahms stuff for the stream. Anyway, I got a message that night from someone asking if we could take a look at making that kind of stuff from kontakt stuff, right? Lots of people have complete out there, some level of complete, and they want to know what the hell they can do with the sounds that are in there. Like, what can they get away with, and how can they make some stuff that will make them some money, basically. So I will, we'll go through that really quick. All right, I'm just gonna listen through a few, get my ears in the right place. All right, cool. Let's make more of these. So way to contact we go. We'll find something. Make sure I'm running in 48 really quick. Yes, I am. Okay. All right, so one of the ones that was asked about in the mail was using damage, and I feel like damage is a really easy one. Let's do... some kind of metal, maybe? Maybe some bowed symbol. Not quite percussive enough. One of these oil drums, perhaps. Maybe these three. Ooh, that's a little better. Which one was that? All right. Okay, let's offset these just a little bit. So this one is kind of my root here. Yeah, it sounds all right. Kind of a bit of a flam on there. And let's check our meter here. Let's add a little heat to this thing. And let's put something else in there with it. Maybe maybe like a little FM something, huh? Just a little. Maybe we'll do a little, what is that, a sine? And let's bring this one up as a sawtooth and bring it up a few. And give it a little curve. Okay, let's get up to our main up here. Cool. Okay, let's get over to our master for one more thing here. And back to our envelope here. Just give this thing a little release. Okay, let's make this whole thing hum. Welcome back, Tom. They should just start teaching people Photoshop in like elementary school or kindergarten or something like that, and see where we all are when those people reach adulthood. The Hammers and Waves library is beautiful. Got to meet the maker a few days ago. Where's that from? Yes, Paul, absolutely. You can absolutely find old oil drums and stuff around docks. You can also find it like in industrial warehouses and stuff. It doesn't even have to be anything that deals with liquids or fluids of any kind, because they use those old barrels to ship all sorts of stuff in, like nails and bolts and ball hitches and all sorts of stuff. They're sturdy. Oh yeah, recycling yards, scrap yards, like you pull it auto yards and stuff. They will actually oftentimes have old beaters that like they and the staff will actually beat on, and they will let you do this if you give them a shout ahead of time and like you bring your own crowbar and stuff. Absolutely. Ooh, recycling center, yeah. Nice. Hey, it's good to see Cameron getting so much momentum in such a quick period of time. Venus Theory, absolutely. Skybox audio, okay. Yeah, exactly. Kindergarten deepfakes activity time, right? Okay, kids, time for circle time. Mary, what did you do with the president's speech last night? Danny Dunlop. I don't know him. Right? Right? I mean, it's like a pandemic era rage room concept, right? Like Find old stuff, put it in this vacant place, and smash it. Oh man, Heidi. Yes, the what was that? What was that junkyard on TV Highway? It was called All Imports Auto. Is that the one? God, that's going back a long ways. I used to go there quite a bit with my dad to find parts for the cars. We did all the fixing and stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was next to Harvey the Bunny. Yeah, absolutely. Harvey the Rabbit, Marine Supplies of all things, right? And freaking Aloha. Sure, that makes sense. All the sense in the world. All right, so what if this thing actually also has maybe one all the way up? What was that, a C? Nah, not 3. 2? That's closer. All right, I want velocity on this, please. I want velocity on both of these. That's close. Okay, let's just spice that up really quick. Okay, so this should be extended. Wait, what? Why in the world do I have all of those? Let's try that again. That's better. Okay, and let's just extend these out to 4 bars. And put a volume fade on this thing. Right, start it from here. Something like that. All right, let's see what that looks like on the meters here. That actually shortens up quite nicely. Let's bounce this thing. Put a little stuff on it. Sure. Okay. Sounds good. Bounce this. And now let's make this thing work. So right about here. Give this thing a bit more of a volume curve. Wait, what? What's going on there? Yep. All right, and that was at about 18. A little extra sizzle. Phaser. Actually, let's just turn you off, phaser. Bring that feedback back up. Try that again. Closer. And let's get this feedback down just a touch. Okay, let's get a compressor on here. That's pretty close. That's probably close enough. All right, so this is we're looking at riser 23. Yes, that is today. So this is a riser FM hybrid impact, and it's in C, and we'll do a few. Cool. And let's just bounce this down as well. And let's pitch this thing down. Yeah, I like that. Let's add a little bit crush to that. Yeah, I like that. Let's put a little EQ on this. We're going to put a little boost right over here. Take out a bit over here. Add a fair bit over here. Mm-hmm. And one more distortion on top of that, because we've got to have more. How many distortions do we have already? Like 5 on this thing? That's a little bit closer. There it is. Yeah, that'll do. All right, so we got these two. We're going to bounce that and bring that in again. Resample, resample, resample. Let's go for a speed. Shorten this thing up. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, print it. Go for 3 on that one. And we're going to bring this back even faster. Yeah. Ooh, spicy. Let's bring that down just a touch. Oh, we got to bring that down just a little bit more. Let's bring our volume back up and see if we can just keep the peaks down on this one. Let's make it respond pretty quickly. Oops. Close enough there. Sweet. Indremi is here. How you doing, dude? Oh, Zev, I just saw your link. I will absolutely click on that for you. Own 2 Fiat Spiders, so you're very familiar with the import junkyards. Yeah. Harvey the Bunny, man. It like freaky and cool all at the same time. Yeah, Heidi, you heard correctly. Harvey was beheaded and the head was burned ritualistically at a high school. Which is par for the course for Hillsborough. Bible thumbs. Josh, was your bunny really named Bible Thumps? Oh, please let this be true. Please let this be true. Oh. This is Josh's at his cutest. They have really cute social interactions, like Binky Hops and Uncontrollable Joy Wiggle Hop, and they like to give kisses. Oh, man. I had a couple of friends that had pet bunnies when I was younger, and I always thought that they were so freaking awesome. I would sit there and hold them forever. So soft. Armpit. Armpit was the cutest little baby bunny. Oh, man. Armpit. Armpit. Oh, geez. Stove battles. Roundabout. Oh, man. Oh, Heidi. I hope you write some of these ideas down because, like, you could easily transform some of these into, like, children's books. Ooh, remixing an older track. Nice, Will. That's always good for inspirational vibes too, right? Make something you've made that you like even better, and then you're just like juiced and you're ready to make more. Oh man, Watership Down. Dude. Samaritz, I feel like you and I are on the same exact childhood movie level. You're always bringing up the classics that like had such a big impact on me. Watership Down was huge for me. So was Secret of Nim, which came up I think in the last stream. All right, so clicking on this one from Will. Zev Music in the chat. Legend of Miranda 2021. Say remix here. Here we go. Yeah, dude, this is solid. It's fun. That's funny. You were wondering if it was busy enough. I think it is, and I think that there's a really nice balance. I think you found a really nice balance because it's not like any one thing is kind of forcing the attention, if you will. The funky hat rolls does kind of like teeter on the edge of that. So maybe like a long form volume modulation where like at some points it is at that height and then at others it's kind of back just a little bit. It'd probably funkify the mood just a little bit more. At 240 where this drops down, if there was some additional kind of transition effect that was actively kind of carrying the listener down, you could bring this whole volume floor down by like an additional 5 dB or something. Maybe even more if you leave one element where it is right now and then put everything on a linear fade up from that point, right? And really kind of stretch out that thing, it would probably give it a really awesome feel. The other thing that was floating around in my head that I didn't type down here is one thing in the space. Let's just click in here and speak about it in context. And maybe it's the hats or something, but halftime. I think that it would really give a totally different feel, or maybe even halftime reverse or something like that. I think it would really accent this whole thing. And then when you come out of it, I think I even said subtle riser with a little panning mod, right? Whip back up into the regular time. It would probably feel freaking fantastic right here. Really great bends, by the way, dude. Those pitch bends are freaking rad. And the detuning. You totally set it up for more detuning if you want to play with more detuning at the end there. Yeah, I love that pad too, dude. Yeah, the detuning would definitely make the atmosphere more interesting without actually having to add anything else to the mix. Because I think you have a really nice mix of sounds to play with overall here. It's really fun. It's cool that you went back and revisited this. That's awesome. Jafar. Just saw this LP box set in an antique shop over the weekend. Almost bought it just for the sampling possibilities. Look at the date on it. I could always go back and get if someone really wants it. Time Life. Oh man. How much was this, Javar? Oh, 25 bucks says right there. Hmm. 1969. What a great image. Man. Time Life, man. They had our number, didn't they? That's just great. Yeah, kick bass sound is balanced, good groove. Yes. I think it's fully locked in on all of that. I don't have much in the way of like critiques in the arrangement at all. Just subtle enhancement ideas, if you will. Yeah, Tom, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. So gross. So gross. All right, so we've got one from STZ. STZ123. Emma Jane says, not sure if this is the right place for it. A short film I scored just released at 6 minutes, so no dialogue, all score, horror apocalypse film. I can send it through if people are interested. Feedback would be cool, even though it's already out. Haha, no worries if it's not the place for it. Well, if it's something that's been released and we can have a copyright strike or DMCA strike against us, then we can't play it. But if you want to put it up in the Discord where people can check it out off stream, 100%. And also, if you want feedback on it, I'm happy to provide feedback on it. We just can't actually listen to it on stream if it's falling into one of the copyright boxes, right? Awesome. Yeah, but absolutely drop it in the chat, or I mean in the Discord somewhere. All right, so next up is STZ, and then we will get another one from Tom in after that. Okay, few things. Make a note for myself here so I don't forget. The beginning is a bit abrupt, so I would consider adding just a super quick fade or transition or riser or something to get it lifted off. I would think that like a little like half-second white noise riser would be just fine for this. Around 35 seconds or so during this build, number one, I would start off lower on the whole thing so you have more space to grow. Right now there is a build, but it's more just growing in loudness and not intensity or interest, right? Because everything is kind of starting off in one position and ending in a very similar position, just louder. So what I would do is stagger those volume levels a little bit and even stagger when those individual instruments and sounds are being introduced in the timeline, and then bring them up in a more linear fashion from a lower point, and it'll build and build and build, and it'll feel better when you get to that top. And this bass Space is awesome. Already though, when you reach the base at this point, prior to the 1 minute mark, it's just too hot. It's just too loud. It's just too fully compressed. So I would gambit that the LUFS are already too high before you're even going into a master, and it doesn't leave it with any place to go, and it's only going to get turned down. So in my opinion, it would be better to get your volume mix dialed in, locked in, so everything can be heard. Get this thing mastered at a better level, and people will be able to turn it up, right? People can't really turn it up when it's like this because it's just, you're hitting too many pain points. There's a bit too much pressure. So it's not really going to sound fantastic when it gets turned up really loud. So the goal here is for everything to be heard, but also just to be heard comfortably, I think. And these strings, if you can go back and massage these strings just a little bit, and I have no idea what you used as far as like what library the strings are coming from, but they translate as synthetic. So if you go in there and use a little bit of vibrato, a little bit of volume modulation, work on the delivery curve just a little bit. It doesn't have to be like hours spent on this. This can be just a few minutes of making very quick little adjustments. Put in a little bit of modulation so things move and breathe a little bit. And I guarantee you the whole thing starts to feel a bit more true to itself. Read the text over the link. I didn't, did I? Struggling to get the kick to sit properly in the mix in drop 2. The attack on the kick is so effing hard to do. So any tips there? Note the song isn't finished at all. Cool. Let's find that second drop really quick and find the kick. Okay, so what I would suggest for the kick is a couple of things. I think that it needs a stronger transient layer to really cut through with this type of music in general. And it's not just a matter of using like a transient master or transient shaper. It's going to give you a bit more of an attack on, a sharper attack on the transient, but what it's not going to do is really enhance the sound in any way. And I think what you're missing is a higher frequency layer in there. The other thing is that you could better shape the kick. Multiband compression will allow you to do this pretty easily, but it is a little thick, around probably 350 or so, which makes it kind of muddy overall. And it needs to be really strong and sturdy. So the other thing that I would advise is after you get your other layer and your compression added, after that, add a little bit of overdrive to it. It doesn't have to be overdriven. It doesn't have to be distorted. You're just going to use the plugin to create more harmonics. So you're just going to put it on, target probably around 45 to 55K, or well, 4,500 to 5,500 hertz, and then it should sound much, much better. And if you're not already ducking elements in the mix from that kick, then do that. Do it, bring those down momentarily. You'll be able to hear the kick a little bit better. BBC Symphony Orchestra from Spitfire. Yeah, so stick with it. Just add a little bit of movement, right? And it doesn't have to, not everything needs to be static in its setting, which is where the modulation comes in, because humans aren't doing the same thing every single time perfectly, right? So if you can just add a little bit of humanization, human variety in there, I think it will work. Yeah, Tom is pointing out the same thing. Kick doesn't have a lot of high end, which will help. What's up, Yari? I see you. How are you? NASA sent out a golden record on Pioneer 10 and 11. Very interesting sounds on NASA site. What's up, Zach? Is this from you, Zach? If so, we will circle back and listen to this. We got a couple of people ahead in the queue, but... Torn curtain. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Zamerits. Send more Chuck Berry. Nice one, Paul. Paul's like the old school SNL vault. What's up, GJ Empirical? How are you? Existence, how are you? Okay, so STZ, you're missing the oomph, the boom. In the kick, you mean? Because... Yeah, if you're looking for more of like a sub kind of presence... Well, part of that is just because there's so much loudness in this thing already, but that a lot of the loudness is actually coming from the low end, and it's just out of balance. So it's going to be really hard to hear anything with great definition or clarity or power anywhere, really, honestly. Those synths, those really anthemic synths that are sitting up top, those are cutting through because of the lack of competition in that frequency range. And that's really the kind of, you know, space that you want for each one of your elements. So part of this is just going to be going back and EQing things, right? And making sure that you've removed the low end of sounds that doesn't need to be there. You don't want to take away the life force, like you don't want to gut the sounds, but at the same time, you want to make sure that the only things that are actually taking up the frequency space in the mix down low are the things that really have to, right? So for instance, your pads, anything that's a lead, anything that has those frequencies down low, just cut them away and see if it helps you hear those other elements better, right? The other thing that I'd recommend is just start over with the volume mix, right? And like I said, start with one hero and base all of your mixing decisions off of that, and make sure that you're making good use of your stereo spectrum and not just your frequency spectrum, because every single one of those things is part of solving the competition equation, right? Making sure that everything has a space, making sure that everything has a good relationship with the other things in the mix. Heidi smells empirical. Oh. Yes, and what Tom is saying, just more expressiveness in the strings that you're using. DJ Empirical says, last night I opened a session where I was messing around with the double knot synth from Laura Mill. I put a little chunk of it in the Found Sounds channel if you're curious to hear a bit. Yeah, we will absolutely. No problem, STZ. Yeah, STZ, if you talk through it all and you're being really honest with yourself about what you're hearing and what you want, you'll get there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Public sound design. Okay, cool. All right, let's see here. Ooh. Ooh, funky. It's great stuff. Do these sounds need to be in a little mobile game? Oh, these are great. This is great. It's impossible to describe this synth. It's awesome. Chakra 4.5. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see what else we've got cooking in the Discord right now. We already got this balloon. All right, so next up is Tom. He's thinking very Megalomania from Undertale. Did this 6 years ago. Hope to put it up with all my other instrumental tracks and redo the mix. Okay, cool. Actually, before I click go on this one, I'm going to grab a little more coffee. So I'm going to put some hold music on. And y'all can sit here with that, and I'll be right back. Where's a good channel here? There we go. We all need coffee to live. It's science. Look it up. I'll be right back.
Look, you and me on the Charles River. I could die right now, Glenn. I'm just happy. I've never felt that before.
Yo. All right. So we are about to click on this link from Tom. Suicidal Famicom Redux version 2. Nice finish in here too. Yeah, the pluck is a bit bright up top, which was like, I think probably just an early indicator that this is Tom from 6 years ago, not Tom from right now. So I would say I like it. I think it's probably worth pursuing. I think that if you were to add modern Tom to this, it would fit into the portfolio. It wouldn't be the strongest player in the mix, but it would definitely bring a more like gamey influence, right? It's not so cinematic, but it's got flair and movement in there. It all just needs to be balanced, I think. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I think it's worth chasing, but I definitely go back and rework it. Oh no, DJ Baracle, there's a version 2 of the double knot. Oh man, good luck with that. Okay, look me in the eyes. You want the not to, you need the not to, and you deserve the not to. It's only money. They print more. Paul. Oh, that was great. That was great. Wait. You already bought a weird synth yesterday. what was the weird synth, dude? We love hearing about weird synth purchases here. Tom, it's so messy. Isn't it funny going back and listening to stuff several years ago? And yeah. Yeah, okay, okay, I can feel that. A little Sonic the Hedgehog with Electro House. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I can feel that. Yeah, go back and rework that. And you know what? Smooth bass. Let me go back here and listen to one spot here. That's what it's missing, is the current Tom smooth bass element in there. I knew there was something. All right. So this one here, this next one in the public feedback, y'all should click on this. This is from Emma Jane, but I'm not sure that I can actually click on this on stream because I think that it's been released. So I will check this out off stream and leave some notes here. Existence. This one's called Guilty.
This is a part of existence. 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 Death is a turn.
Man, okay, so this thing's got some stuff happening. I love the early, like the intro with that little sample. It's super choice. The cathedral vibe kicks in, and then wham, you're just like knocked over on your back. And brilliant maneuvers. There's a lot of fun stuff that you're playing with. Those quick little triplet kicks, the like moving the bass around. And it's super, super in your face. One thing that I would say is that regardless of what you're going for, impact wise, low end wise, whatever, if it's too hot in the lufts, it's going to get turned down, which is going to take away a lot of your impact, right? So I would really encourage you to consider wrangling all of that in so you yourself have control over how this ends up being heard by everyone. Because there's some stuff in here. There's some serious heat. The only downside with that much heat down low is that it washes out all of the definition in all of your mid-range. And I mean, it even steps on the high end stuff. So, stereo width, volume, compression, managing your EQ in all of your reverb sends to make sure you're cutting out the low end on those. So it's not interfering with the rest of the low end in your mix. I think those are really, really good places to start to like kind of reclaim your clarity. You know, the funny thing about managing your low end better is that you end up getting more low end translated to the listener on more playback devices, right? And that's really what you want. If you have too much down there in any way, whether it's volume or frequency range or what have you, if you have more down there than you need, then you're expending more energy serving up those vibrations that it's less power to be allocated to the rest of your mix, right? It's absolutely like a struggle of physics at this point. So rather than rework anything in your mix, I would rework your mix just a little bit. I think you've got really good elements in play. You've got a really fun vibe, and you've got, as Tom put it, some seriously cracking bass. Ooh, has an amusement park vibe. You see glow in the dark swords. Sonically interesting, but also rather threatening, like at the same time, for the ears and the system. So I would encourage you to wrangle that in just a little bit, so you have control over how this thing is heard by people. Yeah, mixing is hard. It is hard. And you know what? Less is always more, especially when it comes to low end. If you're unsure of like where to even start, go back and listen to your mix. Like take off all of your compression and expansion and everything, and listen to your mix and decide for yourself what is the hero. I'm assuming that it's going to be the bass. And then from that point forward, mix everything around that, right? Make sure that it's the only thing in the middle. Your kick and your bass. Make sure that you've just paid close attention to all of your EQing on every single track in your mix. Everything else should be free of those low bass frequencies so you can hear it more clearly. If you've got a reverb on anything with low end, make sure that the low end is getting cut out responsibly in those. You don't want to cut away, like you don't want to cut the legs out from under your sounds or anything. But you also don't want those same frequencies just kind of lazily hovering around for other things to run into. But most importantly, number one is the volume mix. You got to get back and dial everything around that. And if something feels like it's in direct competition with something, then it is. And as long as you're being really honest with yourself like that, then you're going to make good decisions, right? Because it's just volume mixing. Should it be louder or quieter? And if it's not a bass or a kick, then move it off to the side somewhere. Make sure that you keep your sides balanced, right? So if there's like a little call and response between two elements, maybe put one on the left and one on the right. And then all of a sudden you're halfway there with your volume mix, right? So yeah, that's probably where I would start. To do like an industry mix or like a mix for all devices, it's lacking the punch, you know? Yeah. BlackBerry is saying for low end psychoacoustically, you can imply a heavy bottom end by manipulating the related overtones or resonances unique to the source without cranking up the subsonics. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And this is why I'm always giving the advice here during the feedback streams about overdrive. Using overdrive, and you don't have to use overdrive specifically. It's you know, saturation, distortion is creating overtones. So what I generally tell people is like, if you're trying to find a way to enhance a sound in a certain way, then rather than reaching for an EQ or over-the-top plugins or more compression, especially in the low end, generate some overtones and see if you can start to feel this thing a bit more in the mix and hear it a little bit differently in the mix. You don't really even need to be adding drive. It's more just about what frequencies are you targeting with a simple tool like this, right? And then the effect is that it's going to sprinkle in added EQ peaks, basically, which is what harmonics are, right? It's just more activity above the root note. And one more thing that you might want to consider, and this is often overlooked by people once they get to this point in the mixing stage, and that is, what was your source sound for your low end to begin with? Okay, because when you look at it in an analyzer of some kind, you know, a goniometer is great for this because you can see where it sits in the mix. Right smack dab in the middle is mono, left and right are off to the sides. If you're starting with a sinusoidal, a sine wave based sound, it's going to be pretty much locked into the middle channel, right? Mono, which is going to translate very well across all systems. And I'm not saying that, of course, you need to be using a sine wave for these things, but the more you manipulate or move away from that, the more scattered the sound is, right? And that means less focus and that there's just going to be a bit more management overall. So you can actually achieve more from a simple sound, less is more, and then saturating it in some way to bring the brightness and bring the attention to the low end. And it's easier to work with, right? So when people are making sounds like this in a fancy wavetable synth and they're grabbing these like really chaotic looking waves and stuff, it's actually not helping that sound in the mix. You might be making a really interesting sound, but oftentimes you can arrive at a very similar sound without starting with such a messy waveform. And that just becomes increasingly more important the lower you go down in decibels. I mean, in octaves, right? So as it becomes more bassy and more subby, the more spread out the sound is, the harder it is going to be to work with in a mix. It's just kind of how it is. Yeah, Tom put up a nice article. Tom, if you want to, you can link to that. He put up a great article about overtones and how to achieve some really good stuff. The sad facts about mixing is it's not about making your song sound as good as possible. It's about making your mix sound the least shitty on as many different playback devices as possible. And if it happens to sound great, then all the better. Yeah, exactly. You know, and one more way to look at this is not what you can add to push it across the line, but when you reach the point where you can't take anything else away, right? A lot of people feel like they need to add something to this thing that they're trying to get across the finish line. And that doesn't actually help you get it across the finish line. Oftentimes it just weighs down the cart and it makes it harder to push because you're adding more things that need to work together in tandem, right? And if you are trying to take away things, I know this is so Bob Ross of me, but still, like, you know, if you've reached a point in a mix where you can't take anything else in away, you feel like it's easy to walk away from. Like, all right, I can't really think of anything else that I could cut off here that would make it any better. My job must be done, right? And then you can see exactly what this thing sounds like. But BlackBerry is absolutely correct. Like, our job when writing music, making sounds, etc., is completely different than our job when it comes to mixing and then mastering, right? In the mix, you're trying to make sure that everything can be heard. the way that you want it to be heard, right? And the master is your last chance to make sure that this thing can actually be heard somewhat close to that across as many devices as possible. In the car, on an old Walkman, in your earbuds, whatever. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with BlackBerry on this, and I totally hear where you're coming from, Tom. But as you know, as you've just sold more mixes to clients over the last 2 weeks, right? You get in there with a master, and you're like, well, I can only take this so far. If we can get back into the mix, we can fix this, right? So there is a bit of both, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, exactly. And understanding the limitations of typical playback situations means that you don't have to actually go and audition these things across so many devices. Like once you fully grok what's happening, you can adjust your approach accordingly. Absolutely. Thank you for the follows, you guys, Yari and Existence. Tom says that's how I convert a lot of my mastering clients to mixing client and then back to master again. Yeah, exactly. And it's a great closed loop system, because now you've not just got you know yourself a long-term client for mastering, but for mixing as well. And then that ends up bleeding into the creative, and then you end up having a more long-term relationship because they're trusting your input and you're appreciating the relationship because you're able to actually affect the outcome, right? Which plays in your favor. It's all reciprocal. It's fantastic. I'm like, I can't work with this. There's a lot of mix issues. Famous last words. Can you fix this? All right. So it looks like I should be able to play this thing here from Emma Jane. So let's do that. Arnig Music, thank you so much for the follows. Shout out to everybody who hit the follow button today. And don't forget that Jeff Bezos wants to buy you a subscription to OhmLab TV. Hit the subscribe button and make sure that you do it with your Prime account, because Amazon Prime comes with a free Twitch subscription. If you did not know, every subscriber here gets a free sound pack every single month. Whatever you're inspired to make with that sound, with those sounds, you come back and submit it by the end of the month, and you win another free sound pack and a chance to win other things. So this last month's reigning champ, Masters by Iggy in the chat, will be with us to judge this current month. This month's free sound pack is called Lost in the Ether. And it's some pretty chill stuff. And by the way, speaking of judging and contest entry deadlines and stuff, our deadline, let me just move to the proper browser window here. Our deadline for this month is going to be extended just slightly because of the way of, where are we? Today. Okay. Because the way that the month is ending, the last day of the month is actually after our stream on next Friday. And we're going to skip the stream on next Friday. I'm going to go hit the beach. So we will do our voting on the first stream of next month, which is the 2nd. It's a Monday. So that gives you guys one extra weekend to work on your entries. So like I said, everybody that comes back and posts something in the community challenge room on the Discord is already winning another free sound pack. So there you go. Yeah, Arnig, I don't want Jeff either. Yep. Yeah, none of us want Jeff here. But if someone is already paying Jeff a couple of bucks a month for stuff to get to their homes quicker and whatnot, you might as well get some free music production and sound design training and friendships out of the whole thing, huh? Blackberry says, that's why I actually hate mixing something someone else recorded, because I say, I can't mix this. There's a lot of recording issues, and sadly, by that point, too much time and money has been spent. So I send it to someone else if they are insistent to mix the shite. Yeah, exactly. That's smart. All right, so let's check this out. This one's from Emma Jane. I've seen this.
Since the last girl on Earth. Is there anyone out there?
Nice work on the vocals on this, Emma Jane.
My coordinates 448 that's
Well, FM.
you're listening. Come find me. Please.
What's up, Charcal? Thank you so much. Oh boy. Time to take down a zombie.
anyone... Hello?
All right, Emma Jane, my feedback for you on this is pretty simple. It's great. It's fantastic work. And I know this is already done, so I would just say for future things, I would say one, a bit more mid-range definition, like just overall in the mix would be great. It seems a little low end heavy, even for the dark mood and everything. Just so people on lower tier sound systems have just as much to appreciate about what they're hearing and seeing as people on bigger systems. The second thing is that if you were involved at all in the level of the vocalizations, I would bring those up in future projects so they sit atop all of the rest of the sound, even if it's this kind of mangled or mutated or interference, audio, whatever. And then third, I would say a bit more attention to the space in play, the environment in which all of these things are sitting, right? So, for instance, in the barn or the shed or whatever, it's a closer, closed reverb space than the open one. And I'm not sure if you were in charge of all of the Foley and everything, or if it was just the music, but if you were, then I would say the verb and whatnot in a couple of places didn't quite match up. Some of them felt a little bit smaller or a little bit drier than the space that was being shown on screen. But if it's just the music, and drones and stuff that you were in charge of, then I would say it's pretty darn spot on. The only big thing is shift a bit more focus to the mid-range of the overall mix, and I think that it would translate really, really well. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, Charles Cal, this is someone submitted this for feedback today. Oh man. Charles Cal, let's see. You have stuff to show, huh? Okay. Is this in the Discord perhaps? Or you just want to drop a link? We're going to boogie here in just a little bit. We're going to wrap this one up. So if you do have a link for us, go ahead and drop it and we will click on that. Thank you to everyone who has subbed and resubbed today. Thank you for all the new follows. Do appreciate it. Oh, you're going to need a sharper machete for that. All right, well, while we wait to see if there's a link from Charcal here or not, I'm going to maybe we'll crank out one more sound here. Let's take this, bounce this again. I know we're just bouncing the same sound over and over and over again. What's the point, right? And let's stretch this out granular this time. Let's see how different that is from the other one that we bounced. This was probably the second. Okay, so let's take this one down, like maybe 7 steps or so. And let's kind of bend this just slightly here. There we go. A little discord on this maybe. Yeah, I do like that. Bring this up just a bit and warp this more. Let's shape this just a touch more. That's nice. Catch our tail. Ooh, a bit more time on that. Oh, perfect. Okay, let's just call this one complete if our luffs are there. It's actually a little hot. Let's fix that with distortion. We can fix everything with distortion. That darker vibe in there. There we go. I think we've probably got like 8 layers of distortion, maybe 9 on this thing. Cool. Let's bounce this. All right, and back to the chat here. Thank you, Charcoal. That's like the sound of a robot with a cold sniffing straight oil back up its nose. Oh, Paul gets to be Nick tonight. Nice. All right, so back to the Discord. This will be the last one of the day, y'all. Carl Fury is intensely interesting. That is very well said. Whoa, look at this image. Holy heck. What the heck is going on here? All right, this one is from Charcal. It's called Culture New. It's unfinished. Away we go.
We have to stop consuming our culture. We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR. of everything we need.
Okay, I'm not sure if this is actually scissors in there, but I think those could come up. It's a really interesting sound for this vibe. All right, dude, always with the tasty drum intros with your tracks. It's flipping great. Awesome vocal sample, by the way. And those perks, man, so good. All right, so 45 seconds in, the super simple ARP that's happening there, the sine wave ARP, I think it could use just a little less in the middle of it. And I think that occasionally some of these perks, like maybe just pick one or two in the entirety of the mix, and periodically they get like a nice reverb wash. Feel it would really fit the vibe. And then you can modulate those reverb tails, right? Which is like volume or something like that, just to get a bit more of a floaty kind of feeling. And then I think that I feel like there's something that's missing in the upper highs, and that it's got a lot of room up top. I know this isn't complete yet. A lot of room up top for some kind of an atmospheric bit. You know, just something kind of like bright noise that's getting run through a creamy reverb or something. Little swells up top or something, little fluffy clouds. And then again, whatever those are, scissors or whatever, in the background here towards the end, I would bring that up because it's interesting. Yeah, I knew it was Terrence McKenna. Absolutely. Yeah. Ooh, DJ Empirical, can you tell us anything about it, or just that I will love it? Let them know that I'm happy to review it here on stream for them and send people their way directly. You have same feeling about the noises. Yeah. Awesome. Here's all that's public. Let's see here. Multi-algorithm delay. And its name is Other Desert Cities. Okay. Okay. I am looking forward to this. Very cool. And on that note, where did my screen just go? There you are. Some of the algorithms are wild. I would expect nothing less from them. Your clones need you. You must go. Thank you, Andremia, for being here. I must go as well. I've got sessions today. Y'all are great, but it is that time. Shall we see if anyone is on? Let's just see who is streaming right now. Maybe we've got a friend keeping busy out there we can go visit. And if not, I'll leave you with a little music. Oh, actually, there really isn't anyone streaming. Oh, but, oh, Yasumi's on. You guys want to go watch a little art? little gaming art. Sure, why not? Let's do this. If you guys have not checked out Oyasumi before, she's a sweetheart. It's good stuff. Entertaining. I hope you all have a great weekend. I will see you again on Monday. Stay inspired. Peace out.